Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Coffee Club podcast, episode 122. My name is Morgan McDonald, and I'm joined by co-host George Beamish and Oliver Hoare. And today is a very special day because it is Mr. Ollie's birthday. Happy birthday, Ollie. How you feeling?
Old, but I'm joining. I'm like in the same club as you guys now, so I feel like I'm, starting to grow up.
The trio has united at the age of 27.
Yeah. Not a good club to be in.
Let's not. In the gym this morning, Andy was like, "Yo, bro, welcome to the 27 club." I was like, "I don't know. That kind of means something different."
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to say that. Like, I mean, he meant it in a good way, but
yeah,
he wasn't implying that you're going to die soon, but I don't know. You don't want to risk it still.
Yeah,
You don't want to risk it.
Another year, not wiser, but another year.
I think you're wiser. Yeah. You've gained a lot of experiences this year. I think you're much wiser than
from making a lot of mistakes. Yeah.
That's probably a lot of wisdom. That's how you gain. That's how you get wiser.
That's how you get wiser. You just fuck up a lot.
That's the game of life right there.
Yeah. So thank you, boys. It was.
I should have had a sign.
I was just thinking.
Well, I'm gonna press a random button. It could be from from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Oh no,
that's not very happy birthday.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's like glitter.
I wish we had like a cheering one. But we do have a poem. Are you ready? A birthday poem.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Which this should also have a backing track, but it's written by Gus. So, by Gus.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten me anything yet, the dickhead. So,
well, this is it right here.
Yeah.
Whore on the track, whore on the mic. Coffee chats and world-class stride. Birthdays bring your laughs alight. May your flames burn ever bright.
Oh, that's very nice. I didn't think Gus was able to even
so
put
poetic
a sentence together. But
a bit sentimental.
Yeah, that was good. I've been waiting for him to give me something because he gets rent for free and food for free, and he just runs the podcast without any any friction from us. He's literally just running that show. But no, that's a beautiful poem. Thank you.
Thank you,
Might
guys.
frame it and put it in the bathroom.
As you should. So on top of Ollie's B-Day, there has been a lot else going on. And today we'll attempt to cover a bunch of it. Recently we took a trip to BU, which we'll cover for most of the podcast. But then also a few other, notable performances and some other news in the track world. And the big one this week is also the US Olympic Marathon trials, which we'll give our best.
We're so bad at marathons.
I don't think any of us has done the appropriate research, but we will talk about it. We'll give it a go. But before we get into it, talking about Boston, first off, I just want to say it was so nice to see all the Coffee Club fans out there. Ollie, you would have loved it.
Yeah.
A lot of people, a lot of Go Coffee Clubs, a lot of people repping the merch and all that, a lot of smiling faces. Everyone was just so friendly out there. So, I really felt like this is our place,
Okay, can I have a question? More Coffee Club merch than OAC merch out there? Just a little question there. Did we see a lot of Coffee Club compared to OAC? Yeah. Nice.
There was one girl wearing Coffee Club t-shirt, OAC scarf. So.
Okay, so she was a double bubble.
I respect that a lot.
That's a huge respect there.
That's dedication.
Love it.
Love it. Dedication. But
definitely a lovely fan base out in Boston.
Yeah.
Feels like a home meet. So thanks to everyone there.
Yeah,
that's
awesome.
This was my first time experiencing the Boston Magic. Boston as a city, awesome, but specifically this track meet, it's so, because just everyone there is so into the sport. It's all distance runners. And there's all these, East Coast schools. And a lot of the kids that go to those schools, I think a lot of them are maybe D3. And so a lot of the kids at these different schools just love the sport. And you really feel that energy, like having kids around you who maybe just broke 9 minutes for the 3K for the first time. And it's just they're so hyped. There's just, the track feeling so good. It's so fast. It's just such positive. It feels so good to be a part of that. And one thing very lucky for us is in these scenarios, people give us coffee
beans.
So a big win for us. So we have a quick few shout outs from that. Big special mention for this first one. A few of the ladies from Providence, and this is a crazy story. They gave us these nice beans from Wellington, Coffee Supreme.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty. If you're from New Zealand, is this just you just know?
You definitely know of them.
Yeah.
We don't normally drink those specific ones, but I see them in every grocery store in New Zealand. So yeah, very well known.
This is
coffee.
massive. This is massive.
Also got the Tim Tams.
This is massive.
Oh, I'm just gonna hand them to you because your birthday. I know maybe you have some of them
Thank you.
already.
Well, I have to admit, like, this is massive for Aussies. Because people say, "I like Vegemite." You guys eat Vegemite, and a lot of people don't like it. But everybody loves.
You
Tim
can't not
Tams.
like Tim Tams.
You cannot not like Tim Tams.
Gotta get
Well,
around the
I'll credit Australia for the Tim Tams.
Tim Tams are unreal.
Popular in New Zealand. Popular in New Zealand, but I'm not gonna try claim those.
No. But I mean, like, that's the thing. Like, it's just universally known that Tim Tams are amazing. So, like, that's a huge win for us. That's a massive win.
No, we appreciate it a lot, and they gave us a lovely card as well. And I just have to. It's crazy the parallels between this trio and us. It's Annabelle, Kim, and Tessa they all run at Providence, and it's a trio made up of 2 Kiwis and 1 Australian, and the Australian has a dog named Gus. Isn't that just...
That's crazy.
Do you know what my suggestion would be?
What?
Start a podcast.
Start a podcast.
I think you should definitely. It'd be like the girls' version of the Girls Coffee Club.
There's a market there for it for sure.
Yeah, honestly make that happen.
They should make that happen. They would actually do really well.
We will help you out in any way.
Yeah.
If
We'll just fund it. We'll fund the
We'll take
their
all
podcast.
we'll take all credit.
Yeah.
But
we'll have the 2 Gus's as the 2 CEOs. One
yeah.
CEO of the ladies podcast, and then we got Gus for ours.
Yeah, so thank you for that. I think we will. They made a bold request in their letter. They requested a Gus 2.0, a Gus plushie. But it's like when you do all this nice stuff, I think we have to submit, and so we'll be.
They were very confident. They put the address on the bag.
Oh, they did.
You can send it here.
they sent Tim Tams. That's like a huge. I mean, yeah, they're getting a Gus.
But they did
2.0.
say that they already have a throne ready for it. So
Really?
it's like, how can you not?
Yeah, nah, definitely.
So
One coming their way.
thank you guys so much. We
Yeah.
wish you all the best of luck for the season.
I'm gonna
Crushing
start first performance of the weekend to give a shout out to Kim. Shit, what's her last name?
Kimberly May.
Kimberly May.
That's her Instagram.
Just ran number 2 all-time indoor mile in Boston, 4:27 NCAA lead.
Pretty crazy.
Amazing run.
Yeah, congratulations.
Them
So,
Kiwis.
Congrats for that.
Them Kiwis, man, coming in force.
Yeah, thank you. And we have
And
a
she's a
couple.
Coffee Club fan, so
Yeah, huge. We'll claim that as an honorary Coffee Club TC performance.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we got a couple of extra bags here. I got one, which is a bag. I mean, we get given them kind of around meets, like day before or pre-meet or like after the race. This is definitely the soonest I've ever received a bag of coffee post-race. I'm within 30 seconds of finishing the race. A bag of beans was shoved into my hands right over the finish line, which was amazing.
Perfect.
That happened to me in California. A guy just gave me Mountain Dew when I was pacing. I got off the track. He just handed it to me. So it's easy
It was
access.
great. And I
easy
held them
access.
up and everyone kind of cheered.
Yeah.
It was pretty fun. It was funny. So
That's great.
that was a bag from you to the Coffee Club boys from Little Wolf Roastery. And you know they're fancy because it's only an 8-ounce bag.
Yeah, that's
As I,
a
the less coffee is in there,
the more fancy it is.
yeah.
When we sell our bags, they'll probably be about 2 ounces.
2 ounces.
It'll be like one.
It'll just be one
coffee.
shot.
Yeah, it's just that good.
And then the final coffee was from Marathon Sports guys, and we're trying to decide whether it was from Wellesley or Wellesley.
I think it's pronounced
Morgan's-
Wesley.
Oh,
Wesley.
Wesley.
I think it's just pronounced Wesley.
Leslie?
I don't know if that's correct though.
You're skipping so many letters.
I don't know. Maybe you have to say with a Boston accent.
Yeah. If you got the Boston accent in there, maybe.
All right, you're going to have to let us know if it's... wait, what are you saying? Wesley?
Just Wesley.
Wesley.
Wellesley or Wellesley?
What about Weasley, like Harry Potter?
Maybe it's Weasley.
Weasley.
But the shop is called Marathon.
Marathon Sports.
Yeah, the running store, not the coffee store.
No.
I don't think. Coffee shop is... I don't know. Cabrera Classic? That's what it says on here. Fazenda? I don't know. But they're from Dedham,
Fazenda.
Massachusetts.
Must be
Nice.
Fazenda.
Nice.
These ones are from Ipswich, Massachusetts. So, couple
It's-
local bags.
So cool getting the. Oh, see on the back of this they put how to pronounce their brands. Come on,
really?
That's what I needed for Wesley.
Fazenda.
Fazenda.
Fazenda. Okay.
Yeah,
Got to the bottom of it.
yeah.
So, thank you to everyone.
We
For the
appreciate
coffee.
it.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's just like... The one thing like about the podcast that I think I'll never ever get used to is being able to go to meets and seeing that kind of response. I'll never get used to that, and I'm sure you guys just like embellished it. It's just so good to have people out there that get that enthusiastic and that excited about our sport, and as well as excited about what we do here, which is like crazy to us, but giving us beans and Tim Tams and lovely letters, like it means a lot. So like, it's sad that I wasn't there, but it's amazing to
The
hear.
love is coming to you.
The love
Bringing
is
it back.
the love is coming to me. So that it's very nice. So thank you very much to everyone that that's done that. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Boston wasn't the same without Yoli.
Yeah.
Next time.
I think I was the only male that didn't race on our team, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Damn.
That
Yeah,
could
that's
That could have
normally
been
me.
crazy if we had all of us in the same race.
we
bro.
actually have never been all in the same race.
No.
The closest
that's a
we
hard
got
thing
was
to do.
the legendary sound running
Sound running
cross
cross
champs.
champs.
But Jonas wasn't.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
this was
So
Jonas-
there.
Jonas didn't run that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got out of that one.
Yeah, how did he
Lucky bugger.
finagle that?
He went
Oh,
to
my
Europe.
flight got cancelled.
You
I'm
went to
sorry, I
Europe.
can't get there.
That's the way to do it. You go to Europe. I think we'll get there eventually. But that's honestly like having. It's just hard to get the whole team together.
I mean,
for
when
the
you have
same
that
meet.
many people, like there's always going to be up and downs, right, in everyone's journey, and it's hard to get everyone in sync for sure. So,
Mhm.
but we'll get there one day. I have a good feeling we will.
Yeah. So Boston, yeah, it was my first time going to the city racing, and as everyone hyped it up so much to me, and it definitely delivered. It was like just a nice, cool mix of like different cities with a good European vibe. Definitely had a very big European city vibe compared to some other American cities. I think having the big Charles River going down the middle helps a lot. And in terms of what's the word I'm looking for? Everything for us just felt so easy. Like the track was only a 10, 15 minute Uber away. The hotel was good, had plenty of good cafes and food around it. Getting on the track, like the meet itself, despite being in some way so chaotic, is also so smooth. It's like the best of both worlds in a way. It's so chill and so not chill at the same time. That when we checked in for the race, they told us, just so you, and this is, maybe 90 minutes before the race or something like that, and probably less. They tell us, yeah, just so you know, your race could be up to 15 minutes early. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, how's that even possible?
That just stresses you out immediately. You're like, when should I warm up then? I have no idea what I'm doing.
And then it was 5 minutes late.
Oh, really?
Yeah, luckily, I mean, I would prefer that rather than
Yeah, I would prefer that too.
just not ready to race. But yeah, the vibes are good. We had a nice little pre-meet shakeout the day before with I mean, it was so relaxed. It's just us. Obviously, Europe was there as well, and then NAU somehow were also there. So things were feeling pretty good going into the meet. We were all very excited. I think, yeah.
It reminds me of the vibes at Brian Clay, where when there's like 15 heats to the 1500 at once, and there's absolutely no rules about where you're allowed to go, or like
just show up to
the start line and hope that you're in the right heat. And even if you're not, actually, I think that just still eat.
That's where nightmares come from. Like when I have dreams about like racing or like not having your spikes on or missing your spikes, it's like those types of meets where it's like they could just take off.
Oh, they're
without
not
you.
waiting for you.
Yeah, they just take off. Like those type of meets just give me complete anxiety. But
Do you
it's
guys-
like amazing about it.
Do you guys have those types of nightmares? Because
Yeah.
Jonas also on the trip talked about having some like nightmare related to, I think, probably being at the start line.
Yeah.
And you have them as well.
I've
He
had-
said he had a recurring
I had
nightmare
one.
of missing races.
Yeah, I had one where I was at like the Australian 1500 meter final trials, and like my shoes like fell apart, and then I had to like run and grab shoes, and they were too small, and I was trying to put them on, and like people were waiting on the line.
Yeah.
And then the gunman's like, we have like 3 minutes, and then you're gonna have to go. And then eventually I get on the line with no shoes on, and then the gun goes off, and I'm so slow, and I can't run. It's like crazy. And I wake up, and I'm like, thank God that was a dream. It's
Wow.
miserable.
I wonder how prevalent those dreams are in the track and field running world. Because it makes sense, I guess. You think about it a lot, but I've just never had one of those dreams. But
That's
I
good though.
I don't know if you're the same, George. I just don't remember my dreams, like, period.
I barely
So
ever remember.
maybe
them.
I do have them and I just don't even know.
Maybe I think the ones that like those, you just like, I want to wake up if this is a dream, and then you wake up and you're like,
So you remember
you
it.
think about it and you remember it.
Yeah.
But yeah, fuck.
Well, luckily,
Sorry, back to pre-meet vibes.
luckily we didn't have any of those issues. Pre-meet vibes were good. Just getting the spikes on, running around the track. You can
What
feel
was
it's good.
what was your first impression?
Oh,
First lap of the Boss BU track. Underwhelmed?
yeah, almost. I'm not going to say like properly underwhelmed, but it didn't feel like a trampoline. I don't know what I expected. It felt good. It felt really good. But I think on my stride, I had to get used to the turns just feeling slightly different. because they're just, I mean, I don't know the angles or whatever's going on, but compared to other tracks I've run it, I don't think I'd ever run on a track that had, it almost felt like a little bit of an uphill going into the turn to me. And I hadn't really experienced that before, but it did feel really smooth. Like it felt good, but I felt like
I think
just had
what's
to get
weird
used
is
to that.
how different the straight feels to the
Mhm.
curve. Like when you hit the curve, I feel like it suddenly gets really bouncy.
Yeah.
And then it's like flatter again.
I was wondering if there is ever any like double bounce type effect.
Oh, like on
Like-
a trampoline.
Like on a trampoline, you can get double bounce, or you can get like the bounce where like you have no bounce, like the dead bounce.
You just hit the ground like that.
And you
Wait,
don't
like
bounce.
if you land close to someone else's
Yeah.
foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, like right at the wrong time. Like say someone else's foot has just pushed it down, and then you land right next to it when it's already down.
Yeah. I wonder if that like ever
Does that happen?
I don't know. It's never happened to me.
Because
Has it happened?
but you can hear the track going up and
Yeah.
down, and you can see it going up and down.
So surely it
So
does
if you
happen.
if you time it wrong the whole race, you lose like
Yeah.
a whole minute.
You're just
You
running on
waste so
quicksand.
much energy.
Yeah. Holy
So
shit.
I was thinking about that, but no, it did feel good. Like I was like, yeah, this feels like a nice track to run a 5K on, like energy wise. It felt like it did a good job returning it, but it didn't feel like, yeah, I'm gonna jog 13 minutes. I was like, which is what I was hoping for. That's what I was
Yeah.
imagining.
You forget that you still have to kind of run.
I know.
Yeah,
That's the problem with
so
BU.
annoying.
Yeah, it gets to
You still have to actually run it.
yeah.
And that's probably one of the main themes that we're going to talk about today. I mean, I guess we can kind of just skip to it because it is some of the big headlines I've seen is like skipping past everything to the race. As a team, we raced well, but like the weird thing was that we had super, super high expectations on ourselves, and I'm not going to say we took it for granted, but maybe we did a little bit because of those expectations. I think we just all thought that we were going to go like and perform amazing, which is like I think how you should probably feel going into a race. But I think normally you have a pretty good reading on like what amazing is on that day. And I would say personally, and I mean for the team as a whole, I think I can confidently say like we all were a little bit off with our judgments of like if we all had amazing days, what that would look like. And we can talk about the reasons for that. I think a big part of it was watching Joe and Woody run last year. I think like a lot of people kind of looked at it like, I mean, I know we looked at it and we're like, okay, well, they did that last year and we're like just as fit, like we should go run quicker. But whatever the reason was, it was a weird feeling after the race for a lot of us. I mean, we had varied results across the team. Like a couple of people really didn't perform how they wanted to, which is how it goes sometimes as well. But even like at the top end, we really didn't quite perform as well as we wanted to. And so, yeah, do you guys think it's fair to say like we underperformed as a team? I don't know if you've thought about that, but I know like other people were talking about it.
I think we definitely did. Yeah. I mean, there was just a mixed bag across the board of from very solid to, you know, pretty underperformed. And yeah, like you said, it was like, you know, we'll just have 6 guys jog 12:55 and then we'll come back to Boston. We'll all be heroes.
You were already heroes of
I
Boston.
thought I was going to be here.
You guys are already heroes of Boston.
And that didn't happen, obviously.
Still have to go run the race.
Yeah. And then we realized we actually still had to go do that. So the Cinderella story didn't happen. Yeah. Well, Ollie, what was your from outside? And now maybe an outside perspective first.
Yeah, so personally, I've been fortunate enough to like the past few weeks be at the track, like doing my own workout by watching you guys work out, and I have to admit, like personally, I believe that you guys are gonna like absolutely crush it. Like you guys looked. It's not about necessarily what you were running, but it's how you were running it in the workouts that I felt very confident in you guys going to Boston and achieving the goal of running under 13:05. But also like I was talking to Dathan and I was like, they're gonna probably run like sub 13. They're probably gonna run something crazy because they know how talented and how crazy this team is. And then when I watched the race and I saw the results, I felt a weird feeling of like, well, we put so like every time OAC goes to a meet, it's like we're breaking records, we're running ridiculous times, we're beating all these crazy talented athletes. Like we always have these high expectations, and sometimes you just have those like meets where it's just like average. Like it's just like it's not great, it's not bad. It's January. as well. Like, this is your guys' first kind of race of the season. You're in hard training. I mean, like, there's just so many factors that come into it. I also think that I had a really good conversation with Cinta about it, actually, because we both talked about how, like, I think Dathan had an expectation too, and that kind of created a different vibe when, like, your coach is telling you something, then you kind of believe it. I fell into the trap of, which I don't think it's a trap, but I fell into the perception of, like, Yara's going to just run crazy because he's running crazy in the 1500 mile. That's, like, not a good way to look at it, but he still ran 13:02, and he was complaining about it to me this morning. So, like, he's still an incredible athlete, but, like, I think I had a misjudgment as well of, like, what Yara could achieve. And also, I think, particularly looking at it, Boston, running on that track with that many people around you, running an indoor race, there's so many other factors that come into it to be as comfortable and as fast as you possibly can. And like, thinking about the race, pacing it with Woody and Joe, we had more space than you guys had. And I think the better positioning, it was faster, so you kind of, like, put into the frying pan a little bit, and you're like, I gotta sizzle here, I gotta get going.
Start cooking.
But I think, like, particularly, like, Morgan, like, you had a bad start.
Yeah, I had a bad start.
I think George, I think you performed really well. Honestly, I think obviously you wanted faster, but you ran the standard, you achieved, like, that goal, and, like, there's still so much more progression and training to do. Joe was dealing with he won't, like, use this as an excuse at all, but he was kind of a little bit sick. And I think you hadn't run on a Boston track before, you hadn't been on that environment, and I think it's just, there's all these little factors that can attribute to that. But I still think that I'm still really proud of everyone. I'm still proud of you guys, because I think, like, man, I was so, like, when I was talking to Cinta, Josh Kerr got 10th and ran 3:30 at Oslo, and everyone was, like, saying, like, oh, he's, like, he's not even in contention for a medal. The dude fucking won Worlds a couple months later. Like, it's a great place to start, I think, for you guys, because it gives you a bit of fire, it gives you a bit of, like, bit of angst, and you're also, like, dude, running under 13:10, like, we shouldn't take that for granted either. Like, I think the world these days is like, oh, like, you gotta run these times. Like, everyone's running these times.
Everyone wants the standard as well.
Everyone wants the standard. Everyone's running, like,
Changes
you got
perceptions.
like crazy people running sub 13. It's like, dude, like, 13:05 is so hard. Like, we were talking about this morning, George, with, like, the women's standard. It's like, I think Alicia's like 40 plus seconds quicker than the women's Olympic standard. Like, 13:05 is, like, national records for some countries. Like, that's how quick it is. So I think it's good to take a reflection on it, but I'm still very proud of you guys, and I think this is going to be great fuel for the fire for the next couple of races, particularly Milrose. And yeah, I'm still proud of you guys. I think I was really, really upset and disappointed for you, Morgs, because, like, I know getting that standard is, like, it's nice to have that, but also, like, you're so close, and I know the type of athlete you are. You will run better and better and better throughout the year. You haven't even scratched the surface of what your potential is. So being at that start, like, at the start of the year, your first 5K in January, I'm pretty excited for you guys. So that's my
That was an
2
amazing
cents.
summary.
That was really good.
That was nice.
Thanks for that one.
That's my 2 cents.
I didn't even think to summarize actually being in the race. I forgot that we were.
Well, yeah, I
talk
think
about my own race.
Even before we, like, because I went straight to the negative side of it, but we should even before that talk about some of the big positives. Which, I mean, right here, George,
New Zealand record holder.
I brought
the Oceania record back to the Coffee Club.
Hey.
It was taken away from the Coffee Club only recently
By Kai?
from Ollie, and I've brought it back.
You brought it back.
Back in
Good
Coffee
job.
Club hands.
So
Good job.
amazing. Also Olympic standard. So
Yeah.
really good to see. I mean, Heat 1, Kurgat, just super underrated. Doesn't get talked about.
Yeah.
Because I guess we haven't seen his name as much, but
I think he had an injury plagued 22 maybe or 21, and then come back, joined Dark Sky.
Yeah, I couldn't watch it, but I believe it was an entertaining race at the front. I couldn't really see it, but I mean, we got to give credit to George Mills, OAC Europe, breaking 13, pretty huge. Yared was third, I believe, 13:02.
Yeah.
So that was like, and then it was like a nice list of us, like every second or two, following behind him back to. I was 13:07 in like 7th or 8th place, I think. Shout out to Kaita as well. He's not our teammate, but he's our brother.
He's our Japanese brother.
And he ran 13:09 and became the top trending thing in Japan, apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was the highest trending thing on Twitter in Japan.
Pretty interesting, actually. So Ritz is talking about this today. There was a panel which had Coach Yagi, who's his university coach. And just for context, I should give this. Kaita just turned 20 on
last Monday.
1 week ago. And then he ran 13:09. And he's still only in his second year of university in Japan. So he's got a lot of Ekidens ahead of him, probably. But
that guy's going to be signed up for Ekidens for life.
On the panel with Coach Yagi was also Suguru Osaka. And
wait, really?
Yeah. And he said, this guy should just join OAC right now. He should just leave university and join it, which is big.
You should move to America. There's always going to be Ekidens to like, I don't know, lure you in or something, but
run.
But if you wanna go be the best,
big track star,
go to America.
Well, he already is a track star in Japan, but he could be a track star. He could be a star here for sure. I mean, that's pretty cool performance from him, and he's so nice too.
Yeah,
he's so nice. He came up and said happy birthday to me today.
Did he?
Yeah,
nice. I asked him at dinner so Keita doesn't speak a lot of English, but we kind of get around it with the kind of translation apps, and then he's quite good with numbers. Like numbers, I think is his best thing. Like either times of day, running times, or kilometers per week. So I was like trying to ask him what the most Ks he'd run in a week, and I was like doing the hand thing, like most, like up here, like 200 is like more. He goes 200, and then 200. But then he goes on his phone for a second. I'm like, oh damn, like 200, that's a lot. And then he texts me on the shoulder. Oh no. 250.
Yeah.
That's what he gets. 250 Ks.
There's no secrets to Japanese training at all. No. And they start doing it at such a young age compared to other people.
Japanese running culture is bonkers.
What's reference for that for miles for our US listeners?
Like 150 something.
Yeah, it's something crazy, isn't it?
It's got to be.
I think it's like 155 or 158 or something.
I'm like most marathon runners aren't training that as much as that. Like, it's insane.
I don't think even Cam Levins runs that much.
Cam Levins probably doesn't even run that much.
Crazy. So yeah, that was some of the big results from our heat. And then in the next heat, technically I think ours was the Scarlet heat. I don't know, one was Scarlet and one was white because that's BU's colours. I don't know which was which. But in the other heat was watching that after our race was really hype. Big shout out to Wilderschild. Is that how you say his name? Wilderschild?
Maybe like Wildschut.
Yeah, probably with an accent. Probably not with my accent.
Yeah.
But Adrian, man, he looked amazing. Battling it out with Nico Young, Nico, lots of credit to him. 12:57 and Norris 58, breaking the collegiate record.
That just got set.
Yeah.
That was like when it got set, it hadn't been broken for ages too. And now 2 new ones in a month.
That's how it goes.
Pretty wild.
That's how it goes. So
Jesse was having a field day that both heats were won by the guys that went 1-2 at Sound Running Cross.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
apparently he was going off on Twitter.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah,
congrats, Jesse.
I was gonna say, like, if they didn't run that meet with that Jesse set up, then they wouldn't have run.
So it's pretty clear what our mistake was.
Yeah, we didn't run cross. That was our mistake.
Who won? I think Adrian won Sound Cross, but I think he just beat Edwin.
Okay.
It was the other way around. But they went 1-2 at Sound Running.
They were 1-2, yeah.
And then they both won.
We're champions
made.
That's pretty good.
We're champions made. But yeah, do you want to reflect a little more on your race, George? Did anything exciting happen?
Do you know what I kind of had forgotten about at BU? And that I think which is funny because after talking about the Sir Walter Milo, when people are right in your face, it's really fun and like really exciting.
Yeah.
But in a 5K, you forget how like almost like stress inducing it is to have people absolutely screaming like 10 centimeters away from your ear on the infield the whole way around, which is crazy for 25 laps.
Yeah, that must be jarring.
I think it depends what type of day you're having sometimes.
It's hard to relax. Yeah. And you do want to relax. Like in a mile, maybe that's like probably great.
Yeah.
You want to be hyped pretty early on, but in a 5K, like I feel like the first half should be pretty easy.
Yeah, you want to go to sleep. Probably the first 3K, you kind of want to just let things roll, and then from then on, be able to progress.
Yeah,
like in that kind of intensity.
I'm a cool Haas out.
Wait, was it the Haas? The Haas just screaming.
I mean, it was everyone. It was
everyone. But I just remember Haas because he's there, and I love how like invested he is in his athletes running, and like huge shout out for him cheering so loudly. But I just remember him yelling like as loud as he could, like relax. But right in my ear.
That's definitely going to make you relax.
I was like, that's not very relaxing.
Did you spit on you? Like, when you know when people yell and all of a sudden you have a spit that hits you in the face?
But there's
Funny
just
if that
like
happened.
you can. It's just free for all at BU. Like if you want to stand on basically on the rail on the infield, you can.
And we're
no,
like
no
we're
one's
like
stopping you.
we're like leaning in, so
Yeah, when
you're
you're on the.
essentially hitting, like running into them.
I think
That's
Joe
crazy.
City hit him.
Yeah, I think
Did Joe hit him?
run into
Yeah.
he like accidentally ran into him a little bit.
Shit.
I don't know.
So that was like that kind of. I'd kind of just forgotten that about BU, that you're basically running with like a huge crowd of people right on the inside. I do remember it getting really loud when maybe like with 800 or a K to go, I think maybe when Yared went to the front,
Yeah, I think
it started to get
the
super
moves.
loud again,
Yeah.
which was cool. Like it's a pretty small meet and like it's very niche, but people are still getting loud and getting excited for it to turn into a race when it's, mostly a time trial.
Mhm.
For the most part.
Mhm.
But no, I was happy with my positioning and pretty happy with how I felt through 3K. But credit to Mills with a mile to go, just kind of blew it open and he had like a 20-meter lead, I think, on the field for a bit, and then Yared and Edwin closed the gap, and I just wasn't able to get on that next train going, and that was like the break. Either you were on that front one, or
You with the others.
you were
Yeah.
with the other one. And I ended up leading for 800 or so, the chase pack. I got a little help from Olin, much appreciated, and then a little help from Ben Flanagan right at the end. Congrats to him getting the Olympic standard as well.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention him.
And yeah, nice to sneak under the Olympic standard. It's obviously a luxury that I have, that I didn't need it quite so much, and that made it kind of just a little bit like sad at the end, just knowing or looking around and seeing that the guys that we would have loved to have get it on the team, like Jonas and Morgan and Joe, just came up short, which was tough, but satisfied. It would be so like 12 something just sounds so good.
That would have been nice, wouldn't
That
it?
would be sweet.
Maybe next
It's pretty
year.
cool if you have a sub 13 to your name.
Like 12 just sounds really good.
Yeah. Like that's the thing for like 1500. Like it's
320,
cool.
Like just having
It's
a
cool
2.
seeing like my PB is under 330. It's just
Yeah.
cool seeing that. Like it's one of those things where I'm sure it's a sub 4 for a lot of college athletes. When you get to that sub
Mhm.
4 and you see your time sub 4, you're like, damn, that looks cool.
I would just have to run 7:59 instead.
Yeah.
Get it done.
Hell yeah.
Get it done. My race experience was interesting. First off, I think this always happens to me in the first race of the year, and I guess especially considering I haven't raced as much in the last 3 years or whatever compared to a lot of people. I forget how mentally taxing. I don't know if that's the right word, but I guess it is mentally taxing. Like the race can be, even like going into it, like nerves and all that stuff. You just like forget about how all that stuff feels. Like you only really remember like the good stuff, I guess. You don't remember like the hard stuff. But I mean, I remember at the time thinking like, oh wow, I really don't like this nose. But even looking back on it now, I'm like, yeah, it was pretty fine. It was pretty cool. It's all part of the process. It's like what makes it so special. It's what shows like that you're about to go to a big thing that you really care about. So that was like one, just like I was like, yeah, shit, I forgot how nervous you get for races. Like this is what racing is, which was cool. But overall, the vibes were great. I think a lot of what Ollie said in his summation of the race, like I resonate pretty well with. I think looking at it now, a lot of like I was a little bit disappointed because I didn't hit the standard, because that would have been really nice for me. And especially like what made me maybe slightly more disappointed was the fact that I didn't feel like I raced my best. And a lot of that I think just came like from a really shitty start, which is just like no excuses. Like it's like important to have a good start in a race like that. I didn't really realize. I kind of like went into it and I was like, okay, everyone's gonna be running really quick here. So even if I like go to the back for some reason, like I should be fine. It just wasn't quite the case because my first 400 was like a 65 and then I had to run around everyone. So I was just like, shit, like this sucks. So I think mentally that threw me off a little bit. And as George mentioned, the 5K, you really want to try to relax for at least 3K, as long as possible. That's kind of what the game is. And a lot of what that means is getting in a rhythm where you're not thinking a lot. And so I was just a bit mentally out of it. And then like once you start, the big mistake I made, and this is like such a clear sign that I'm not having like a good day is I start looking at the clock.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, okay, so I know I have to run this. And that's just the worst thing ever. And I started doing it way too early as well. I started doing it with like 10 laps to go. It's like, oh, it's a lot of laps to look at the clock for. So, I mean, no excuses really, but like those were just the mistakes that I made. So, yeah, pretty aware of it. But back to the expectations thing, I think if you look at it across the board for a lot, like all of us that, ran under 13:10, it's like, shit, that's pretty good actually.
Yeah.
It's just that our standards and expectations were set so high. But I would say generally, for me especially, like the fact that, yeah, I'm in this shape in January is awesome. And, I have pretty high expectations for myself. And so I don't really always think about it like this. But a lot of people, like, after the race were like, man, like, great race. That's really good, like, coming back from the injury stuff. And, like, I hadn't even thought about that. Like, I didn't even think about, like, that I haven't raced that much. I haven't been healthy for, like, a year yet. It's been maybe, 9 months or whatever. And, I mean, it was still, like, a 6-second PB for me. Like, I didn't even think about that stuff. I was, like, pretty hard on myself after it. So there is so much, like, I think positives to take from it personally. And I'm still happy with, like, the way that we showed up and we raced. And it was really interesting across the board to see how I think a lot of people experienced a similar thing of expectations being a little bit off from reality. Because if you look across the board, there were so many amazing athletes there, and the performances were just, there was a big degree of difference between people racing up to amazing compared to underperforming. And something that I found really interesting about this one is, that's actually normal. Like, that's really normal, especially in January, especially early in the year, to have people, having off days or whatever you want to say. But for some reason, similar to how I thought our whole team was going to go crush it, I thought everyone in the race was going to go crush it. I thought everyone in the race, I thought there's going to be like way more Olympic standards pretty much. And I guess that was just a little bit naive. Because if you look at things on paper, it's just, as I said, especially like early season, it's just not how it plays out. And I guess I was a little bit annoyed at myself for making that mistake because, I like to try and be like pretty good at like have a good awareness going into a race of how things will play out. And I think, yeah, you just miss the mark a bit. But I mean, if you're going to miss the mark a bit, like first race in the season, it's the time to do it.
Miss the mark and run 13:07.
Hopefully you just build up from there and things get better and better. Yeah. So that's my kind of take on like personally how it was for me. And yeah, so I was disappointed a little bit because of the Olympic standard time, because that would have been nice to get. But then overall, pretty pumped. And overall, I was just filled with a lot of happiness to be back out there, like racing at that level, surrounded by the team, surrounded by just a lot of other amazing athletes, and surrounded by like such a great crowd and all these friends and stuff that were there. So it was really cool. I do need to give a big shout out actually to Tom and Avery, who came out and were handing out some Coffee Club merch. They made the trip out there to support us as well, which was absolutely amazing. So much positive stuff on that day.
Is this your first indoor season since 2021?
So 2021, yeah, I did one race. 2021, I did the New Balance
2 mile with Joe,
yeah,
and Justin.
Yep. And then so that was in 2021, and then my next, like, I did one race in 2021 indoors, and then before that, it was 2019, which is like kind of crazy to think about how
that is wild.
Little indoor races I've run in the last 5 years. So, with that in mind, especially so much to be happy for, just to be healthy and everything. So that's my take on it. And lots of amazing performances, and then also a lot of people feeling like they got a bit more to work on, but still quite a bit of time. That's racing, I guess. That's our sport.
It is. I think there's, like, we always talk about people stepping up in the Olympic year. So we just I think it's so easy to think that, we're all going to run ridiculous, and so is everyone else, and everyone's going to run 12:50, and world record's probably going to get broken, and then you actually go out there and do it, and you're like, oh, it's actually just
pretty hard.
It's pretty normal and pretty hard.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't suddenly just get easier just because we got excited for a couple of days.
I really liked Woody's post-race interview where he said a similar thing to what we've said. He was just like, after last year, he just kind of acknowledged that last year he had a really special day and that he kind of thought he would just go back and have another special day. But yeah, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, even I've heard Grant say similar things, like how hard it was to back up the year he had when he broke like 4 American records. Like the year after that is hard. Like just so many things have to align for performances like that to happen. And I think it on our team too, like to be more transparent, is like we had the highest expectations with we tried to prepare as late as possible into the year.
Our training is different from a year ago, for sure.
Like we tried to delay as much as possible. Like we cancelled a track session a few weeks ago so that we got on the track 3 weeks out from the race, 3 weeks to the day, and then we did 3 track workouts in 3 weeks, and that was, and then we thought we could like go break world records and shit. So,
which I think, like, I agree with that. Also, I think different people like that affects differently.
Yeah, not everyone's the same.
Because I don't think that really would have affected me necessarily that much, but I can definitely like.
But do you think you're not going to be more fit in like a couple of months? Like,
okay,
no way.
No, you're totally right. Maybe I'm saying it I'm missing some pieces. I guess I would say I'm still happy to be in this spot. Like
I think
for the long term.
Yeah. Like we didn't do it to run faster at BU. We did it so that we can hopefully be in the best possible position in August. 100%. But we just also thought maybe we could.
But we didn't think about that before the race. Yeah. We only realized that after.
Maybe.
So yeah. So that was the men's day. Yeah, dude, awesome. I would love to go back to BU every single year and try get after it with a 5K. So that was, I mean, for us it was kind of a business trip because then we just left the next day. Came back to Boulder on the Saturday, and then that was the women's day to get after. And shout out to Josette getting the Olympic standard. I didn't get to watch. I mean, we didn't get to watch this race because we were
literally on the plane.
But also a bit of a mixed bag on the women's side for us with this. Alicia was pacing. Carmela had, I mean, she has not raced much. I don't even know.
I think her last was like 5 years or something. Like something crazy. Like indoor race. I think it was like a long time.
So she's coming back into it as well. And then, I mean, Sage ran a big PB in the 3K. But I think for everyone, I don't know if this is the right time to say this, but I think everyone, like, Ollie already said this earlier, though, in a way. Like, this team is used to just going and crushing every single meet, and we have to come to terms with, like, that's hard to do, and that we're all human.
We've set such a high bar, this team. Like we started off, like, years, like, it seems like years ago. We started off, like, when we were young, it's like we have to prove ourselves, and we took that and created new heights for all our results. Like, Sage, like, running sub 2 minutes for the 800s, like nearly every Diamond League. Alicia breaking records, Joe running sub 13 multiple times, George crushing the steeple, then Yared, Mario, myself running like you have all those results and expectations, and then you have to realize that sometimes, like, it's okay to have like an average day. Like, it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing, because then you realize that when those good days do come, you're like, it's more special because you know that you've worked hard for it mentally and physically to get to that point. It's not easy. It's not given to you. So, and I think that's what this team's like. I fell into a little bit of a trap where it's like, we think at these results it's going to be given to us because of how good we are. But really, sometimes you just got to, like, have that race where you get the motivation to, you know, that shit. Like, that race is like, I didn't like that. I'm going to the next race with this motivation, and then you crush it. So
yeah, and a fair criticism of this team would be maybe to say, in the past years, would be to say how good we are in, like, January, February compared to
later in the season.
Yeah. So everything we're doing is to try to be good later in the season. So yeah,
no one cares what's happening in January when August is around the corner with the Olympics. I guarantee you, when those people that are crushing it, working well now, are winning medals in August, they're not thinking about
BU will be forgotten.
BU in January. Yeah, I mean, it won't be forgotten, but it'll
be the same people, but not necessarily.
Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't.
Yeah,
but I think it is crazy because you sometimes fall into that little bit of a trap. And I think personally, like, we've got so much more exciting things coming up, and it's going to be amazing. So.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Time to go train.
Yeah. Well, Milrose next week. But then train. But Josette's time was the number 2 all-time US indoor 5K with Cranny.
Really?
Actually, now that I'm reading that stat, I don't know. Tom.
Did Tom just set you up for failure?
No. I mean, it must be if he put it down. There's no way he's wrong. But
Where's the American record?
Cranny. 14:33. But that's why I'm wondering if she did it. Were there not other Bauman people that ran quick, or was that in a 3K?
I think she was by herself. Maybe.
She was with Gabby. Because Gabby Stafford
Gabby's
got the Canadian record.
Okay. Because I was thinking, like, did Carissa not run?
I think Carissa and Shelby got the 3K.
That was the 3K. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe that is right.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
But it's 13 seconds away.
Yeah, but number 2 still.
Yeah, number 2. That's sick.
I guess. Was my time number 2 Australian?
Was
it or no?
Yeah, because I ran 13:09, you were 13:07, and then Kai's 13:06.
We have to mention what happened to Kai Robinson.
Yeah.
I felt so bad for him. So
I did.
I was watching pretty intently, like Kai specifically in the second heat, because, I'm like, all right, so is it Australian going to go get the Olympic standard? Like, I'm watching him, and then I think I was watching with about a K to go, and I saw with 800 to go, I was like, okay, he has to run like pretty quick here.
Like around like 158 probably,
like pretty quick. Which you can run 158 on a good day, but on like an average, like a normal day, that's hard to do.
Very hard.
But then he started running really quick, and I was like, oh shit, like he's gonna do it. And then I saw what he was coming through with 400 to go. I saw what he was coming through the bell. I'm like, shit, like if he keeps running this pace, like he's gonna do it. And then he came through at 12:05, and then he freaking stopped, and I was like, no.
Oh, Kai.
That's so sad. And then he immediately realized, like 1 or 2 seconds, he like crossed the line. He's like, wait. Oh shit, everyone's still running. Tried to keep going, and he did. Credit to him, finish it off. But pretty hard to come back from run that last 400 after I assume he was kicking that last
he's miscounted.
Miscounted lap. So apparently Stanford.
I don't think
maths class.
I was going to say, a Stanford boy doing that, he'd probably get expelled.
I was talking to Smith and Nico after the race, and Nico said that he thought there was one less lap.
Nico did as well.
Yeah. So
interesting.
I feel like maybe there was some
confusion with the.
Somebody might have mentioned something or said something on the infield. I mean, there's that much noise and carnage going on.
But it worked well for Nico because he just kept going and ran 12:57. Like
he just pushed through the pain.
Yeah. Maybe, but if you're 2 laps short, that would really hurt.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
it's amazing that you can
close.
still get. I don't know if the lap counter was wrong, but the fact that can still happen is. Well, that's just
funny.
on an indoor track. People are getting lapped.
It's pretty funny.
That just tells me that he was like really all out.
Yeah.
Because you have to be for that to happen, you have to be really.
You're not paying attention to
just like in the zone, which is a good thing. Like that's how you want to be racing, like super like flow state type scenario. But yeah, crazy. So sad to see that for him when he would have been so close to getting it. Probably maybe could have got it on that day, but that's showbiz.
That's Hollywood for you.
Yeah. Was that?
That be you?
That's BU, I think.
Wrapped?
BU Dunzo for 2020. What year is it? 2024.
2024, yeah.
Unless we do this.
Yeah, no, there's probably a BU meet every single weekend for the rest of.
Yeah, we'll be talking about it a lot, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll come up again.
So wait till next week. We have a couple of other things that did happen this weekend. I mean, we're not going to talk about them too much. First thing we have to say, which is huge for us, Dr. Sanders Coffee Club getting up on the jumbotron.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I was shocked. We were at the airport, and I got sent from Chris Chavez.
Yeah, he sent me the
picture of the thing, and from Nick Harris. I'm like, what are we doing on the jumbotron at the Armory right now? And apparently, it was Joe talking about how great Milrose / the Armory is. So, yeah, I mean,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I wonder how long the clip is.
I think it was like 30 seconds, and he was even on the that was the broadcast. Like that was the official broadcast. So
it was on NBC.
I believe so.
Dude,
like I think we should. I mean,
why haven't we gone like viral yet though?
Such a good question.
In the last
It'd be
2
nice
days.
if we got paid for it as well.
Well, we wanted to repost it, but we were afraid that USATF would.
Oh yeah,
they
would have come after us. They're a bit dangerous. That Seagull guy. What's his name?
Yes, Mr.
Max Seagull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta watch out for him. He's a businessman.
I've seen Morgan, George, and I have dealt with seagulls in the past in New Zealand and Australia on the beaches, and I tell you what, they fight. They're scrappy.
Avoid at all
costs.
Shout out also to Coffee Club TC member Fog
Dog, yeah.
Getting
Big dub.
Getting the dub.
Looked great actually.
Yeah, he looks good.
He
He
needed
looked good, and he's going to be running against the big dogs in
Getting
Milrose
the
games.
big cue for Milrose
I
games.
do I do love how that's become. I think it used to be like kind of unofficial. It was like, yeah, we might
put him
we
in.
might let you in if you win this meet, but like we'll actually just decide. But now it's like it's official. Like
It's pretty cool.
you win this race, you're in.
Should be more of that.
Definitely, like qualifying
100%.
meets. That makes it a big deal.
Mm-hmm. That'd be a really cool way to do the sport. I don't know. I'm just thinking like Chicken Boy League ideas right now.
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll talk about it later.
Always thinking about Chicken Boy League. Trust me.
So, Dr. Sanders, that's that. Some cool results there. Did you guys see the article? I mean, I'm sure you did because Joe was talking about Jakob.
I never found the article.
No.
But I've just heard the chat.
So I think Mr. Jonathan Galt was tweeting about it. I don't know. It's in Norwegian apparently. So
Could say anything.
so
So we're just going to have to take his word on
who
that.
knows what's actually true? But it's a Jakob update with his Achilles injury, and he says that I don't know what this means. Like this could mean like 20 different things. But he said he's barely run in the past 4 months.
Well, I remember when he ran Silencia. He ran the 2K world record. It was in Poland.
Brussels?
Is it?
Brussels.
Which one was the one that he was in Poland though?
That was a
That was
1500.
before Worlds.
I remember. I think it was. I can't remember what race it was, but I remember talking to. I was talking to somebody when we were running at St. Marissa Power. He had his back was spasmed. He ran for 5 days. So like he's taken time off before and been fine. I mean, 4 months is different.
That was such
Let me finish.
I was like, where is he going?
Where
with
is
this?
he going with
like,
5
did-
days is very different to 4 months, but I imagine like you
Are you
said, it
saying
could
that-
mean a lot of different things, like not
like
running.
the translation that it might have meant 4 days, not 4 months.
I mean, honestly, yeah, you could probably maybe said 4 days instead of 4 months, but also when he says 4 months of not running, it could be workouts,
the quote
could
is
be
kind of
like-
crazy.
the same freaking weeks of training. It could be anything.
Read the quote.
These are from the article. So it said the challenges existed during the season, but it only hit when he had started to training after his wedding and honeymoon to the Maldives. Is that how you say it? Maldives?
Maldives.
And then his quote is, I got sick during the season break. Then I couldn't charge it. Maybe that's a translation error. Charge it. And then it hurt like hell when I started again. Then I trained for a week. Then the Achilles tendon snapped. Do you think that it actually snapped?
When you were on that honeymoon, weren't you? Do you remember?
Were you a part of this?
He was on the treadmill a lot, but I mean, he didn't seem like he was struggling a little bit. I mean, I was mostly just serving him fresh fruit. I was giving him little grapes for his little reps and shit, but
Nice.
he didn't mention it to me. I was out of the loop. I had no idea.
That's unfortunate. Did
Snap is quite dramatic. I wonder if that translation's right.
I hope that translation is not right, because a snap that's not good.
That's what makes I'm questioning that translation because Jakob snapping his Achilles is like front page news. Like
That's news
like,
everywhere.
It's
Yeah.
like that's mad. That's so crazy. Like that
you can't walk. You can't walk with a snap.
You probably
if
need
tore your
surgery,
Achilles.
don't you?
You get surgery on it instantly,
Yeah.
and then it'd take quite a while to rehab. I imagine.
Yeah, he'd be out for the Olympics.
Like that. Not a
Potentially.
doctor. Not a doctor.
Not a
but
doctor, but he would potentially be out
If
for the
that
Olympics.
was true, I think that would be bigger news.
Yeah.
Can you do double threshold, like on the elliptical or on aqua jogging?
I'd be so interested as to what cross training he's doing.
I would say he's cross training a lot, but maybe he has access to like a Ultra G or Boost or something.
Yeah.
Even then, not with
Even
a torn
then,
Achilles.
snapped Achilles. You're not doing shit.
Ollie, can you go over and do some invest?
I'll send him a
investor-
text. I do have his number. I'll send him a text.
Go to where's he from? Sadness.
Sardines.
Sardines.
Sadness.
He's from Sadness. Sardines. No,
Sadness,
I
no
could
way.
send him a text, or we could just say, "Hey, mate, like we got some good recovery facilities here in Boulder. If you want to come stay with me and Morgan and Gus, and
Should we
just
ask
hang
him
out."
to come back on the pod for an injury update? There's no way he would come on.
No
right
way
now.
he'd come on. But that is sad. But it's also
He is good for the sport, so I hope he.
I hope he gets back into it. It sounds like it was prolonging though. That from what the
It's very
translation.
much so prolonging if it's been 4 months and he's
Yeah.
barely training. So, but yeah,
Could be 4 months, 5 days. Who knows?
Who knows?
No, I'm kidding.
But he did write out in the article like he's like a racing plan, which is pretty interesting. It's pretty.
He thinks he
snappy.
can be back by pre or something.
I think he said he aims for pre to be his first one, and then Oslo, Europeans,
Olympics.
Norway champs, Olympics, something like that.
Olympics.
The Olympics. Okay.
So yeah, hopefully.
Also, we're sending love and Healing powers
Healing
to
vibes.
you.
I'm going to learn some Norwegian so I can better understand actually what's going on over there.
We probably should. On this podcast, we talk about Norway that much and the Norwegians. And it's also one of our top listener groups. We should know some
It is
Norwegian.
top 5. Oh
I think
my God.
Norwegians speak like better English than we do.
We probably do. Definitely better than me, for sure. Definitely better than me.
I like to be completely transparent. I haven't been on my phone. Like when I race, I stay away from the social media stuff a little bit. But I would just think this would be such bigger news.
Yeah, no, it would have been all over, like, all the running media
Our
accounts.
correspondent, you would have seen it.
I would have seen it. I've seen it. I didn't even see the article. I've seen nothing.
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Such a big deal. Come on, guys. Don't worry. We'll cover it here, though.
Yeah.
We'll give you guys the news. That
We're
you
giving
need.
you the news that other people won't.
Quick shout out. Moving on from Jakob to another child prodigy, Addy Ritzenheim.
Congratulations.
Gatorade Player of the Year for cross country. That's what they call it, apparently.
They still say player of the year.
That's what it says in the
Yeah.
notes.
Player of the year.
Got to also give a shout out to our previous masseuse, Al. I think George. Oh, maybe neither of you guys have heard this. This is the text that Al sent to Dathan, congratulating him on Addy winning the award. He said, "Hey Dathan, congrats on Addy winning the award. So good to see Kaylin's jeans finally shining through." Kaylin is Dathan's wife, for anyone listening.
Yeah.
She was also a very good runner.
Very good runner, yeah. Dathan would have loved that. Do you love that?
Yeah.
Dude, Al would be... Al's a massive Detroit Lions
I
fan.
thought this was going to be something about the Lions.
Yeah, Al's a massive Detroit Lions fan. Like, he'd wear this Detroit Lions hat, like beanie, every day when he'd massage us. And I tell you what, he's probably hurting right now. He's probably hurting. But
He used
that's
to
an
love
amazing
saying
text.
that. That's funny.
That's an amazing text.
Yeah, so good. So the other big one that's going on this week is the US Marathon Trials. It's Marathon Trials week, and I'm so excited to watch this race, despite the fact that I really don't. Does anyone know what's going on? That's my question, because I was thinking about it. Like, how do you even follow like the form of all these different athletes?
I mean, we're obviously going to have to put in our predictions for the top 3.
What if we don't know 3? No, I mean, I would feel so bad.
I have no idea.
I would feel so bad just doing it.
I would just shout out Kurt, our physio. Running.
We have to say
shout out to Kurt. Best
Good
of luck.
And Chase Weaverly, my roommate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's running.
So February 3rd, that's Sunday, correct?
No, Saturday.
Saturday, 10 a.m. start time, EST, that is. The weather
It's going to
looks
be quite
perfect.
nice.
Weather looks perfect, 60 to 70 and sunny. I guess that's maybe a little bit hot.
It's not going to be cool, but it's not going to be 80 or 90 like they were
Yeah.
afraid of.
Yeah, it's so interesting because this race is like one of the big, for a marathoner, it's like the second biggest race maybe to the Olympics in a lot of their lives. I mean, not literally, but it's such a big deal. But so much of the press leading up to it is always so negative. Like, rather than hearing...
It's not pleasant to see. To be
So
honest.
for this one, it was everyone just roasting them about the previous start time. Because I think it was meant to be at... Was it meant to start at noon or something?
I think it was supposed to be pretty
it was
late,
noon
and it's
originally.
like, are you guys mad? Like, it's gonna be so. I mean, yeah. Like, wasn't there issues with the course as well? Or am I making that up?
Well, I don't think with the course, but I think just like the weather, the start time things was like led to like so much drama with the different bodies, or like blaming each other about like why it's starting at a certain time and all that. There was some other negative press, which I cannot remember at the moment, but. One thing which was pretty sick was just got announced today is the prize money. And oh my God, it is massive. I don't know if this is standard for the Olympic trials for the marathon, but 80K for the winner, even 7K for 10th place, but 80K, 65, 55, and then down to 25 for 4th place. But that's just so much
gone
money.
up. I think the prize purse was 600K this year, and in 2020 it was like 420 or something.
Okay, that's good for the sport.
It's more than you would win at like
Worlds.
any race apart from maybe a marathon major. Maybe they have more.
Worlds,
A major's a lot harder to win because it's full of Kenyans and Ethiopians.
I mean, Worlds is 70, right? To win a
I think it's
world
gone down
championship.
even. I think it was 70. I'm not sure if it's still 70.
70.
I think it's 70.
That's right.
I think it's 70. But that's great. It is the US though. They have them. I feel like they'd have that money to spend. Whereas like if Geordie went to New Zealand marathon trials, I don't expect him to be like, oh, he's going to get 80K for the win.
Probably not.
But it's great to see that they're putting their money where their mouth is.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly after the complaints, maybe they feel like they have to like hush money to not don't worry about the start time. Just here's the prize money.
That is kind of crazy because like people are going to try run at the Olympics whether there's very much prize money or not.
I mean, there's no prize money at the Olympics.
So they don't have to, but they do it. Anyway,
I mean,
So that's pretty
all
cool.
the money you get after the Olympics, I imagine, by winning it. But like,
I think
there's no money.
Just to qualify.
Oh, just to qualify, yeah.
They're still
Crazy.
going to run the
people are
trials.
going to do it.
Yeah.
So it is crazy. It's so exciting
team.
that Mr. Paul Chalimo is racing. It's so
Yeah.
random.
I don't know what I'm expecting from him.
I don't expect anything. I'm just gonna wait and see.
It's an exciting
He's so
race.
hard to read because like I think his first road marathon was terrible,
I
wasn't
don't
it?
think he's done one, has he?
Did he do a half?
He's done a half,
Oh,
but and it's good enough to qualify.
he ran one though that was like,
I don't. He hasn't done it for. This will be a debut.
I think it's his debut.
oh really? Shit.
The trials is such a weird race. I'm thinking back to watching it 3 years ago, whenever it was, and it's so interesting because a lot of people drop out. I remember now, like a lot of the top people that
I
aren't
think
having,
you
like,
drop
the best
out
day.
because if you want to run a spring marathon and you're not
Mhm.
going to make the Olympics,
Yeah, you have to.
then you kind of bite the bullet. Unless you want to get fifth and make. What do you get? How much money you make if you come fifth?
20K, not bad.
That's pretty damn good.
Pretty good.
Not
I guess
bad.
if you're coming fifth though, you probably still think there's a shot that you could come third.
Yeah. You know, like it's
You're
like
still in it.
it's not like literally everyone apart from the top three
Yeah.
just jumps out.
You're kind of still in it. It's like a mile to go, and the person in fourth is like,
No, I'm
they're a
not
minute
going
off.
to.
I'm just gonna drop
It's
out.
actually an elimination marathon.
That'd be kind of cool.
The
Concept.
bottom.
I think everyone should. So, George, I feel like you can give.
You want to hear my prediction?
I wanna
No,
hear your
don't wanna
predictions.
And
I
then
think
you
you
can remember some people.
Yes,
All right.
please. Well, I
Men.
think Conor Mance is gonna win. But
Mm.
I'm saying I want. I think Galen will make the team.
Yeah.
It's Galen,
Ooh, that's a big pick.
Mance, and I want Footsum.
Footsum.
Bigfoot.
Is Fable in it? Fable's in it, right?
Yeah, it's called
Oh,
Fable.
shit.
Yeah,
Coffee
cool.
Club TC right there
Coffee Club
representing.
TC.
Damn it, sorry,
And Geordie
Scott.
completely forgot
Okay.
about him.
All right,
Yeah.
Galen doesn't make it.
I would love to see Fable make it,
Footsum.
personally. I really like Scott Fable. Hopefully he has a lot of burritos before, because he's a burrito guy, isn't he? Like breakfast burritos.
He's a big burrito guy.
Yeah.
You should go through. I mean, not all of them are that exciting, but it's pretty cool on the website for it, like Orlando Trials, whatever. That they have like athlete bios for everyone, and it's like some fun, interesting tidbits, like their favorite like books and.
What's
Stuff
Conor
like-
Mance's favorite book?
I don't know if he did that one. Like you did. I think you only had to fill out like a certain amount, and some people are pretty boring, and some
Yeah.
people are pretty exciting.
So Mance is pretty boring.
I can't remember.
I'd love if his favorite
I can't
book was
remember.
the Book of Joseph Smith. It was it's just his
I can't
favorite book
remember.
is like Mance classic.
I'm gonna go. No offense to any of you, but I'm gonna go all in on BYU. I'm gonna pick. Well, not all in,
What?
because
All in, like with Jared Ward as well.
no, I'm gonna because
Mance?
there
I
are
feel
probably,
like BYU is going to do well.
there are probably
BYU
a
will
lot
win.
of BYU people
Yeah,
racing
dude,
beyond
yeah.
these two, but I'm gonna pick Manson, Clayton Young as well, and Scott.
And
Fable.
Scott. Ollie.
Scott Fable.
Burrito Forbes.
Bruto Forbes for sure. I really like Conor Mance. I like him. I like the way he races, and I'm going to say it. I'd love to see Portugal make it because it'd be so random.
That'd be so funny.
Because then I imagine he's like interview afterwards is like, yeah, I'm going to go for the 10K as well. And just
He
turns
probably
up.
would.
He probably will go to the trials for it.
He
So I'm
probably
going to say
would.
Portugal as well. So Portugal, Scott Fable, Conor Mance.
What about the women's side?
The women's side,
I'm picking Emily Sisson for sure.
I think Sisson.
Those
She looks
Those
good.
Phoenix Canals.
Yeah, she looks good in
She'd
those
fit down there.
workouts.
I just don't know how. I don't know how fit anyone is.
I think she
That's
should have
my
made
issue.
it last time, but didn't for some reason. And then
She had a tough day, I
Um,
think.
What do you guys think about Molly?
I think she'll make it again.
Training's been looking good.
Bronze medalist at Tokyo, like,
And she does the infinity threshold, so
yeah. But that's what I'm doing right now.
That's cheating.
um
It's gonna be banned soon.
It'll be banned soon, yeah.
and who's someone else? I just thought of someone else, but now I've forgotten.
Well, what about Kira Tomato?
Oh, I was gonna say Kira Tomato. Isn't she the American record? No, I think Sisson is now.
Sarah
But
Hall
she
is.
was.
Oh, no.
That's
No.
one of those two, I believe.
Sarah
I
Hall's in
think
it?
Yep.
Sarah Hall just had to pull out of Houston. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how
Look how good our coverage is of this of the women's marathon, bro.
Sarah Hall was doing a training camp in
Yeah.
Orlando, and then she had to pull out of Houston. So I don't know if that's
Yeah.
not a great sign.
Emma Bates is not in it, unfortunately, as well, which
Yeah.
she was a big contender.
I
Yeah,
feel
no,
like
it'll be. I think the women's marathon, you could see somebody come through the woodwork.
Membrane was hyping up that Betsy Saina, I think.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Just
Yeah.
received US citizenship in
Mm-hmm.
the last little while.
Yeah.
Apparently she's quite good.
I think there's a lot of depth in particular on the women's side. I mean, I like with especially like all our picks have been pretty standard picks, but quite often this is the type of race where
People come
you
through.
get those upsets.
Yeah, which
Or
is the
those-
best thing about them.
There's amazing stories
Yeah.
of someone coming through.
I mean, like Jake Riley was one of those.
Molly
stories.
that was Molly's
And Molly as
story as well. Like,
Yeah.
that was it her debut last time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's like it happens all the time, and I remember last time just being shocked at how many like stars were dropping out because they were having off days, and I guess that's the nature of the beast that is the marathon. So
I think Abdi is running again.
I
Big
saw that as
Abdi.
well. I saw that Abdi.
He's like 60 years old, I think.
yeah.
Damn,
Literally.
what a baller.
Yeah, I don't know how many times
Good
he's
for the
competed.
sport.
He's been to 5 Olympics, but that includes missing one.
That's like unheard of. That's crazy.
That is wild.
So, yeah, I think it's just. I actually love watching marathons in general, and then watching one that has so much on the line is.
So much on the
Yeah.
although the third spot's like
Don't
alright,
even-
so let's not even
Oh.
get into it.
So that was it. So when I said before that I forgot the drama in the follow up that's been in the news cycle and the lead up, there was one was the start time and two was just not knowing who's going to qualify on the men's side.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's
the
right.
other
That's
thing
what it
that
was.
That's what I forgot.
Yeah, yeah.
So don't even get me. I don't know how that's going to play out. I don't even know.
You got to read Citrus Mag for that.
Yeah, that's for the real journalists.
But when we take them over, then we'll know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it's really good
Marathon
preview.
recap.
Everyone,
Crushed it.
yeah, check it out. How are we feeling? Should we do a little bit of Coffee Cauldron? It's been a couple of weeks.
Just spice it up a little bit.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
we got a couple.
As long as we have the soundtrack for it.
Yeah, is it all in the buttons, Morgs?
I don't know. We'll find out. I think we need a new soundtrack for it, but for now,
It's so sinister.
yeah.
It makes me feel like very much Game of Thrones vibes. Oh, actually,
Hey
you know what?
guys,
That poster
my
does
name's
it.
Kyliana, and I'm not sure this is something you do, but I was wondering if you might be able to give a shout out to my boyfriend Ryan.
This isn't actually
he
advice.
loves listening to your show and loves watching you guys run. Every Thursday is like his favorite day because of you guys.
Happy Coffee Club Day.
I was hoping you might be able to wish him a happy birthday. I don't know. Maybe you guys don't do that. It is kind of weird.
Happy birthday, Ryan.
If you could, that'd be awesome.
Imagine if it was
Thank
today.
you.
Imagine if you had the same birthday as you.
So this one I snuck in there. So this is not actually advice, but we don't do birthday shout outs.
No.
We don't. But because you sent a voice message about it and you sounded so nice, I guess, and it sounded so wholesome, I think we had to include this. So I actually also wrote a poem for
Ryan?
for Ryan.
Just read it.
So this is from the Coffee Club to you, Ryan. In the morning sun, where running strides are spun, Ryan's birthday joy has just begun. With Kylena by his side and the Coffee Club as his guide, happy miles, laughter, and love coincide. Happy birthday, Ryan.
Damn, Morgan, you're becoming a bit of a poet here.
Oh, God.
Man.
So, sorry, that was a fake one. This is the real one. All right, back to it. Back to business.
Hey Coffee Club, my name is James and I'm a runner from Massachusetts. And I'm calling in to the Cauldron today because I'm asking you guys how to deal with consistently having bad races and how to get over the hump from bad races. Because for the past 4 months, I haven't had a solid race. And I've been sick, I've been dealing with injury. So how do you guys deal with the injuries and get over like the mental part of not performing to your max potential that you want to be at because you know you're fit and you know you could do well? All right, thank you.
Wow, that's a very real question.
It's good for this episode particularly
Very
as well.
real. Very real. Also a tough question.
Mm.
Like it's hard to not hit your goals for that length of time. Do you guys have any thoughts?
Well, he mentioned sickness and injury.
Yeah, he said like there were reasons.
Yeah. I mean, I think consistent like just training and being healthy is also going to be a huge factor in those high performances. So it depends on like if he's dealing with that now or if he's had really good, consistent, healthy training, feeling good, and then just still having those disappointing performances. Like that is extremely tough mentally. Honestly, like a lot of people have mentioned this to me, but like sports psych, talking to someone like just about your race or about like talking it through with somebody else, your situation, or why maybe there's a part of a race you just can't push through the pain, or there's like you get really nervous before the race and you want to kind of be a bit more in control of those nerves and be more relaxed. There could be a lot of factors to it, but I think talking to somebody, maybe a sports psych or maybe even mum and dad or a close mate, maybe just dissecting races, you could probably maybe analyze a little bit that could help progress you forward. But and also sometimes you just go through a rut and then all of a sudden next week you crush it and you do a good race. So don't give up. Stay passionate, stay hungry. And I don't know. Sometimes people overcomplicate that sort of stuff, and if you just keep sticking to it and keep pushing yourself with the training and giving yourself the best possible situation to prepare for the race, I think you'll surprise yourself. But I would say if it is a continuing thing and you haven't tried that option, talking to someone about it and trying to analyze like maybe why those races haven't gone as planned, like even the little details, that could be helpful.
Yeah, I think no matter what, it's always helpful to talk to someone. And I think kind of what you were mentioning, you do like there is a difference between if like everything is going perfect training wise and you're having bad races versus I think what he's describing is bad races, but it seems like there's like pretty specific reasons behind that, and I think that's a slightly different thing. And that's kind of in a way what I've experienced more of recently, like in the last few years, like not racing to my potential because of an injury here, an injury there. And I still just absolutely sucks and it's really hard. But I mean, what I've found useful is just like reframing the situation, and just you have to change your expectations and what your goals are. I mean, ultimately for me, my overall goal is always to like be as good at running essentially as I can be, and I want to feel like I've gotten the most that I can out of my potential. And an injury is really hard because that takes me away from that goal, but my goal is still to be the best runner that I can. So what that includes is working through each one of these challenges. So working through the injury to the best of my ability, or the sickness to the best of my ability at that time. Like all those things are obstacles on your journey to being like the best runner that you can be. And I'm just assuming that's your goal as well. Maybe your goal is slightly different, but I imagine it's something like that. And one thing that I will say is that everyone has their own set of obstacles at some point in their career. And so I think that a lot of, what defines how great of a athlete runner you can be is how well you can deal with those obstacles. So I think that framing it like that has been really helpful to me. And those aren't original thoughts. Those are thoughts that come from either working with sports psychs or reading books about like performance, or like even like stoicism type books and stuff. Like that's the type of stuff that they might talk about in that. So if you are interested, those are the kind of avenues that you could also go down, is like those type of books as well as talking to someone.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. That's tough. That's tough situation, especially when it's been a few months and not just kind of like a one-off bad race or something. I would say my advice from the Coffee Cauldron would be kind of similar to, they like the action becomes like motivation type deal, where like if you're lacking motivation, then sometimes it just takes like the start, like the act of starting. Like if you're lacking motivation running, sometimes it just takes like going running and like getting back into it that'll like create the motivation. And in a similar way, I think, if you've had bad races for a few months, then it probably means, your confidence is pretty low going into them. But I think in the same way that, action can create motivation, I think it can also build that confidence back up. And I think that can stem from like going back to whatever gives you confidence in running. Like if you're whatever aspect of training that maybe comes easiest to you or is your strength, like obviously you need to work on your weaknesses. And if you've been doing that for a while and trying to do more strength work, if you're kind of lacking that, or more speed, if you're not, if that's your weakness, then sometimes it just takes going back to whatever makes you feel good or whatever actually is easier for you, and then it feels good, and then kind of build that confidence back up, kind of going into the next one, and then to just keep showing up, and then then hopefully you kind of come out the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is you don't
Like
want it to make you like dislike the sport.
Yeah.
So
You don't want to get pessimistic with it.
whatever it is that you can go back to that makes you confident or even just enjoy it.
Yeah,
So important.
for sure.
Sometimes easier said than done though.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%.
So definitely
Yeah. It's
lean on
definitely
the people around you.
yeah, it's a journey.
Yeah. I feel like this is a nice place to end it today. We've had a lovely evening chatting up.
God, Tim Tams have a 0.5.
Don't
On the
talk
health
about
star
that.
rating.
Don't talk about that.
Don't.
I don't know if
Just
that's.
seeing that.
I don't remember that being a thing when I was a kid. But when I went
That's
back to
you.
Australia last time, everything had the health
Yeah.
star ratings on it. I was like, oh, that's
0.5
not
of a
looking good.
star.
Not looking good for
I
us
mean,
boys.
to be honest though, if the Tim Tams had more than 0.5, I'd be like, these aren't like good. You know what I mean? Like they have to be bad to be good. You know?
I'm not eating a Tim Tam for health reasons.
Yeah, I'm not eating for health reasons. I'm eating it because I'm trying to like influence my hedonistic lifestyle. Like it's not nothing to do with like trying to be better.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, with that, on that beautiful note, I think this is episode 122. I don't know.
120 something.
We're in the 120s.
Yeah.
We're doing all right.
We're doing all right for cricketer. I'll tell you what, cricketing, when you get to the 120s, you're just having fun here, aren't you, George?
Yeah.
You're just swinging. You're just swinging,
No worries.
trying to hit the boundary.
No worries at all.
Worries.
Well, thank you so much, everyone, for listening and joining us for this episode. And we hope to see you all again next week. Bye-bye.